Hello, hello. Welcome to the session. And this session is on feeling whole, feeling complete in yourself, being as you are in the moment with everything you are and being okay with it. And as you sit with yourself, in yourself, the opportunity is to sink very deeply into the who that you are and really feel into all of it. So the parts of you that have been set aside, put away, that they come into the fold as well. And that's the spiral of the growth that we've been working with. So we started way back when with Camael, with our first step in this spiral of 13 was to start with feeling safe. How would it feel if it was safe to be me? How would I be if I was safe? How could I be if I was safe? And that very first step opened a question, opened a possibility that then spirals through and through and through until we land here at the 13th point. And it's a fascinating place to land. In this place, we are everywhere and nowhere. So we don't focus on the heart chakra or the third eye chakra or the crown or the root or any of our energy systems. Instead, we look to settle into ourself in a way that dissolves the separation between the energetics and us, between life and us, the cosmos and us, the divine and us, and become part of all of it. And the fastest and easiest way to do that is in silence and is in simply being in the moment and open. And so we will just begin with settling into ourselves before we start having a conversation with and learning about Seraphiel. We will start with just an opening so that we're ready to begin and to begin opening more deeply. So if you close your eyes, and as always, very, very aware of your sits bones, aware if your feet are on the ground of your feet, being solidly connected to the ground. The capacity now with feet and sits bones engaged, or if you're cross-legged with the fronts of the bottom of your knees engaged, to really lift up and through and be lifted up and through by that beautiful energy cord that lifts from the crown of your head. So really feel that connection and allow your shoulders to fall away from the connection. Allow your spine to lift and lengthen, your neck to lift and lengthen as your shoulders release. And really feel the whole system now balanced. And just start to allow the part of you that is curious to simply observe how things are. So rather than ordering the breath in a certain way, be curious about the breath. How does it feel when the inhale comes? How long does it feel nice for the inhale to last? How does it feel when the exhale comes? How long is it nice for the exhale to last? And be curious enough to run a few experiments, a little longer, a little shorter, or indeed again release and let the body serve up what it serves up. And be curious about that too. Simply allowing the whole of you to share with you this moment And feeling as you sit in the moment how the moment expands, because there is an absolute connection. You're following the ongoing train of your breath, and the breath is in all moments and in this expanded sense of this moment. So with no clock or watch or focus on time passing, settle into the breath as if it holds the secrets to all that is, or indeed it does. So with everything you are, just allow body to talk to you. With everything you are, allow the moment to speak to you. And if you find you have thoughts, either about the curiosity or about the moment or about what's happening in the moment, or if suddenly you start thinking about what you should or could do, just gently release that piece of thinking and bring it back to whatever your body shares with you. And this time, maybe it is the breath, but maybe it also is your feet, your sits bones, or indeed maybe your third eye starts bringing you new whole imagery. Or maybe parts of the body that would like attention ask for attention. And just as you're in the moment, just allow the breath to go to those places. The inhale and the exhale. Share those spaces with your whole loving focus until there is a release. And then come back to that central place of just being here in the moment. And the expression of you that is here and now and whole, complete. In the silence, did you begin to hear your resonance? The way the bell rings for you. Just open your eyes when you're ready. And if you like, gently let your hands cover your face before you open your eyes into the moment, however works for you. So here we are. Body is now hopefully soft and communicating, speaking of what it would like to talk about. Breath is hopefully soft and communicating. And you're ready to begin to feel the possibility of a communication from beyond this physicality, this observation point, to get a perspective from much, much further out. And that's where and how we call in Seraphiel. And so just a little bit about Seraphiel and the 13th point. So we have our last 2 points have been Shekinah and Metatron, which gave us the 11th and 12th points, gave us the wings on the Caduceus. So we are complete. Yeah, we've got to 12, the job's done. But there is a hidden 13th point that organizes the whole thing. Who can be the one looking after this if all of the parts of this are in this? And indeed, there is an organizing perception sitting at the 13th chakra, which is everywhere and nowhere, is complete as the circle. And with Seraphiel's help, holds the diamond ray. And when you think about 13, and diamonds, and we'll get into the Rosa Mystica, there's an interesting thing. So the diamond speaks to rarity, value in the material world. It speaks, though, most clearly to heat and pressure, taking something very ordinary, the wood that we burn, and turning it into something that's extraordinary, is so ordered and so structured that it is so hard and so reflective. It holds inside itself, black as charcoal and now is completely colorless. And yet, when it's near something else, it holds the color of the other thing. It holds within it the 12 colors of creation. So, this diamond is rare and lucky, you know, but 13 is, wow, extraordinarily unlucky. And how did that happen? 13, for as long as we can remember going back, was the divine feminine who counted the 13 cycles of the moon within the solar year. And the absolute clarity that gave you was none of this 31 days, 30 days, jolly 28 days, what's that? It was all organized around the perfect count of the moon within the sun. And that counting gave you this beautiful 13 program that worked. And then the moon got taken out, and it was some calendar counting thing. So the 13 that organized everything became this very discordant, disorganized 12 that has no apparent clarity. The middle months got stuck in by Roman generals because they wanted their names in there. I can't remember which one that was, but a couple of them did. Augustus, I think, was one, August. But yeah, so the whole thing just became this hodgepodge of, and then trying to make the leap year thing work. And of course, the Egyptians solved that by looking for the moment that the light of the Sirius hit through the temple, the pyramid, and hit a certain direction that only in that moment shone through a hole to light up something. And they knew the year had begun, and they knew then that the Nile would flood, and they knew then that plenty was coming. So ancestry that had this wisdom of working with the cosmos, working with the star signals. In New Zealand, the Pleiades with Matariki, again, a clear cosmic signal that something had changed. And also when the signal moves, that it meant something for the year to come. In no way does January the 1st deliver that to anybody, but that was the organizing that became linear and logical and left out the big picture perspective that is Seraphiel, that is the 13th organizing point from a place that is so far beyond this human experience that there is a wisdom to it that within each of our lifetimes we're not going to find. So if we can't invite that wisdom in, that wisdom that predates us and is bigger than us and is only looking to hold order for us, structure, heat, order, the diamond, then if we can't welcome that in, then we end up with 31 days, 30 days, who would know days, and never quite have a handle on where and why the time is moving. We'd need a calendar, wouldn't we? Instead of being able to look into the sky. But so that's the 13 that there were a, again religious componentry to this, as there often is. And so the goddess wisdom often had 13. Again, it was marking the moon. The moon was part of the feminine. The feminine was very much part of the picture of the older ancestral world and how the cosmos was formed, how the reverence for spirit was reverence for the Divine Mother and the Divine Father. And so when that was taken away, the 13 had to be, so Freya, for example, used to be worshipped and held the 13, used to hold gatherings with the 13, the count of 13, and again the moon, and at some point she had to be demonized, Freya Friday, so that she could be put in her place, and her place was no longer welcome. And that is the religious pattern. I don't, getting into it isn't going to take us forward really. But to acknowledge that if you have something in you that says 13's unlucky in some way, I mean, modern buildings quite often don't have a 13th floor, right? Take back 13 for yourself. From a numerological perspective, it's also the 1-3 that is a higher order 4, and 4 is heart. So again, heart of the matter. 13 is a lifted, bigger perspective of love energy. And the love energy Seraphiel brings has an ardor to it, which is also a heart-related feeling, but it is the idea of constantly turning towards source for energy, for nourishment, for sustenance, for wisdom, for guidance. That is the seraphim. And Seraphiel is one of the leaders of the seraphim, and the seraphim are some of the angels who sit closest to source. Bright, light-filled, and filled with celestial fire. And this is a fire that shines brightly, that purifies completely and doesn't burn like we would think about fire as a burning thing. We talk about acid burns. This is, there's a chemical fire. This is a fire, a celestial fire that uplifts, it enlightens, it enlivens, it offers itself endlessly. And indeed, this the seraphim and Seraphiel offer their light and their love endlessly. So it's this endless outpouring of love's energy from a perspective that's so far away that it's not looking to get into the nitty-gritties of it, if that makes sense. So it's looking to, in a place of distress or concern, to simply hand that suffering back to source, to turn your face to the divine, to be in connection with that divine energy and understand that as you've handed the suffering back, that you no longer need to carry it. You don't need to organize it or manage it or count it or any of that stuff. You hand it back as a complete question of, oh, I don't know what's happening here. And from that place to allow that divine outpouring of light and love to wrap you within a safety net. And as you patiently keep taking the actions that are presented to you, you don't sit and wait, you're still moving forward, you're still acting, that indeed that problem, that situation, that issue is resolved. But it's not resolved from a point of view managing it, or indeed the divine offering little wee bitty bits. You get this lifted, uplifted, upwelling, continuing offering into your source connection, and the next step opens for you. So it is that capacity to trust, to have faith, to lean into, and to constantly point your face towards the divine for solutions. So when you're turning around the pot of something in your life, and from a human perspective, it feels unsolvable, there's so many factors, you feel stuck in it, all of that stuff. If you put the pot down, hand it back to the divine energy and allow the information to come that needs to come in its own time, but you keep pointing towards source. So There's one more piece I'd like to do. Yes, there is on my wee list. I would like to talk about Rosa Mystica and the dodecahedron. And the Rosa Mystica is, in fact, the stellated dodecahedron. And it is, from a Platonic solid point of view, the dodecahedron is the etheric, the quintessence, which is the fifth element, which is also came to mean quintessential, is the perfected aspect of something. And it was seen as the shape. When you, if you see it in your mind's eye for a moment, imagine 12 faces, and each face is a pentagram, is a five-sided shape, and there's 12 of them. So we've got 12 fives, we've got 60 faces. Now, if you sit, 60 edges, pardon me. If you sit with that dodecahedron, and we're going to actually take that into a meditation in a moment, the aspect of it is that Seraphiel is able to bring that clarity, the diamond ray for you, to be able to hold yourself in Rosa Mystica and lift through your universal heart, personal heart. Here we sit, Haniel, universal heart. Here we sit, Pista Sophia. And then as we go out further, we're looking for Seraphiel to be in completion with us. The Rosa Mystica gives us a thought vehicle, a light chariot, if you like. It's an aspect of Merkaba work. It's not a beginner's Merkaba, but it sits so beautifully with Seraphiel. We're gonna work with it today. So we're gonna now, as we sit, construct that Rosa Mystica for ourselves. So get really settled on your feet. So I'm settling down feet, settling down into my sits bones, getting really heavy and structured. Really pushing into the down feeling, getting ordered and heavy and structured. Feeling the lift at the crown, feeling the height, feeling the absolute lift and release all the way through the spine, and just feel the spine naturally taking this beautiful synoidal shape, beautiful bends and curves just where they're meant to be. And just ask for any shapes that need to be adjusted or released or relieved. Just bring the breath to them for a moment and just allow the whole of your back, whole of your spine, right the way through, deep awareness at that space just where the neck joins the skull. Here's our 10th chakra. We're just always keen to say hello here. We've said hello to the root by really settling down. As we feel the flow of the breath, the second chakra, focus brings third. Find a smile to find your fourth. Hear only aspects that are true for you. Bring in the fifth. Let the sixth come in now. Just whole pictures of possibility. The seventh, and wrapping yourself in the mystery. Bring in the eighth, that high heart, the universal heart. A love for all things, a returning of that love for all things. Seeing all things as me and me as all things. High heart, 9th chakra, the courage to move forward. 10th, the perfection. 11th, all the way down to the center of the earth. Shekinah, Shekinah, Shekinah. 12th, all the way to the crown of the tree of life. Metatron, Metatron, Metatron. And now here we are at the 13th point. And as the breath flows in a beautiful rhythm of its own construction, in your mind's eye, begin visualizing and picturing the 12 faces of the dodecahedron. So see the construction of each face that has that 5-sided pentagram. And just rotate the dodecahedron to be able to just view it, those 60 sides that we're now going to stellate. So that means that each side now has a point. It comes to each face having a point on it. So we have 12 points and a total now of 60 faces. And if you're struggling to find that form in your mind's eye, you can also lean into the sense of order of the diamond itself. So without needing to construct a form, come into the sheer brilliance of a diamond that's hovering in front of you. And you can see just it is brightness, the lightness, the reflection, refraction is all there for you to see. And inside all of this, feel that celestial fire that is Seraphiel now, filling the diamond structure, filling the Rosa Mystica. And as this happens, feel that connection to your universal heart lifting above your personal heart. And there is an absolute clarity to the structure now. So we beautifully created it with Pistis Sophia. We felt the opening of the bloom, the wonderful magenta colorway that is only available as the between red and purple. And here now we create the brilliance and the structure that enable the universal heart to blossom more fully, more deeply, more resonantly, more permanently, more eternally. The infinity of the breath here is in tune with, resonating with, has the same frequency as your connection with Seraphiel, which holds the highest wisdom for you, the most profound knowledge for you. Even as Metatron, who scribes the book of life, Seraphiel is the figure that looks after and protects Metatron as he writes. Seraphiel is the still point in the movement. Seraphiel is the lightness and brightness that draws your eye at the point that you think all is lost, all has gone dark, and just in the corner of your eye, there is a sudden sparkle. You might not even consciously see it, but it is there for you. And as you continually turn towards Source, as you allow Source to be the point of your nourishment, as you feel just that absolute gratitude for every breath you take, all the food, the water that you drink, the sun that shines down, all of your loved ones, all of your interactions, all of your lifetimes, all of your soul incarnations, all of the places that your soul is expanding into, from the caterpillar to the glorious butterfly, that your soul drinks from the scent of the Rosa Mystica, that your eyes perceive the brilliance And your heart knows the way to point as you feel your way into the presence of Seraphiel. Just the absolute presence, an outpouring of love that is so pure and light, so otherworldly, and yet at the same time so completely in and of our world, offering this completion of any duality where you have the masculine and the feminine. This light is the one light. Metatron's light with structure and order. So Metatron brought the blueprint for the structure, and now Seraphiel brings the blooming from that blueprint. Just sit in silence for a moment. And now, with an extraordinarily open heart, just hear the resonance of the divine as you harmonically respond to the tone that the divine brings for you. So you are the bell that doesn't have to be struck. You are the bell that sits beside the bell. The wonderful note is struck. The divine makes the note, and you begin to resonate with that note. Feel into yourself for how it is that you feel now. Ask how it is that you feel now. Ask how you would respond to this. Ask how you would like to communicate back to the divine with this experience. Deeply contemplate the gift that is this moment. Allow your perspective of the moment to be from a place that is, I am complete. I have nowhere to go that I need to go. I have nothing to do that I need to do. I am fully in my released place. I am whole, and then see what comes next. What is the next communication that you would offer? Inhaling, exhaling, and just warm your hands up again. Let your face just sit with your eyes closed behind the hands. Just observing your inner light for a moment before you come back into the room. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here in this session, for being part of this work in this spiral. Obviously, just that deeply felt gratitude towards Seraphiel, whose presence filled the session. And just what I would ask is if you find a moment where you come back to this silence and you open up this communication again and be with it and notice that you can achieve the same connection on your own. This is your work. This, I spoke this piece, but you speak the next piece. The connection is yours, the experience is yours, and the beauty that is possible from it for you, I very much wish you to experience. And from here, so the 13th, we've completed a full spiral. I'm not quite sure how many angels we've actually had conversations with. And from here, there is work to do with some additional angels and work to do with grouping angels to focus on particular aspects. So I'm not sure yet what's coming next week. Something will come next week. But what I'd leave you with is to remember that whenever you are drawn to, you can always come back to your connection and the way through it. It might be that you need to start from a place of working with Raphael for healing, or Gabriel for hopes and dreams, or Sister Sophia to really reawaken the love that you have for all that is. But the key is start somewhere. Don't wait. When you ask, when you reach forward, when you look to connect, the answer comes. And let that step be your first step. Find your way. Find your way to open the communication. And so it is. Thank you.